Hello and many thanks for joining us. You're watching Addis News Hour. With the news, I'm Tabitha John. Do stay with us. Ethiopian President Sahle-Work Zewde said Ethiopia deserves to have an industrious generation with high understanding of regional and global affairs. This remark came when the president addressed the 2021 graduates of Addis Ababa University. Alula Taklamariam has more.
Addis Ababa University, which is the oldest university of the country, graduated over 6,000 students in various fields of studies. High-ranking government officials, including President Sahle-Work Zewde and other invited guests, attended the event. Speaking on the occasion, President Sahle-Work Zewde said Ethiopia deserves to have an industrious generation with high understanding level of regional and global affairs. She expressed the need to strengthen national unity to overcome challenges that the country is facing.
ወቅቱ በበርካታ ውስብስብና እጅግ አስቸጋሪ ሁኔታዎች ውስጥ እያለን ዩኒቨርሲቲው የመማር ማስተማሩን ስራ
The university deserves graduate for maintaining the teaching learning process and graduating students irrespective of those complicated challenges. This is an indication of possibilities to create a great nation even during hard times when citizens come together for a common goal.
The president further underscored the necessity of ensuring increased participation of educated people to maintain the ongoing reform across the country. She further calls upon the graduates to play their fair share, turning the theories they have acquired into action.
ውድ ተመራቂዎች ከዚህ በኋላ አዲስ የህይወት ምዕራፍ ልትጀምሩ ነው።
Dear graduates, from now onward, you are about to join a new chapter in your life, and I want to assure you that you have a big responsibility to contribute your share by promoting peace and unity in the tasks you are going to be assigned.
የሰላምና የአንድነት ዓላማ በመያዝ
Graduates to their party expressed happiness for realizing their dreams regardless of COVID-19 and related challenges.
ኮቪድ የነበረበትን ታይም እኛ ትምህርት ላይ ነበርን ብዙ አዳዲስ ነገሮችን በዚህ መሃል እንድናውቅ አስችሎናል በተለይ
The outbreak of COVID-19 was a challenge to the education process, but it helped us know many things. Previously, there was no online learning practice, but the pandemic forced us to learn how to deal with it. Generally, we had a good time.
Today's graduates hold BA, MA, and PhD degrees of different backgrounds.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has appointed more officials to various high-level federal positions. The new appointments include state ministers for 22 ministerial institutions and Office of Prime Minister and 2 commissioners for 2 federal commissions. 2 appointees are drawn from opposition parties, namely Ennat Party and Freedom and Equality Party. The 2 have been appointed as Plan and Development State Minister and Works and Skills Development State Minister. The ruling Prosperity Party is showing commitment to work together with opposition parties. The inclusion of other political party members in the new government has brought huge acclamation to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed. Ministers appointed from opposition political parties commend the unprecedented move by the ruling party. Recently, Prosperity Party has formed new government to lead the nation by sharing ministerial positions for members of opposition parties. Haptam Washagri has more.
Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed is showing commitment to his words in including political party leaders in his new cabinet. A minister from opposition party is the chairperson of National Movement for the Amhara People. Belete Molla is appointed as Minister of Innovation and Technology. Belete has received the post of Innovation and Technology Ministry from the previous Minister of Innovation and Technology, Abraham Belai, who has become Defense Minister. According to Belete, the decision made by the government is critical and valuable for all ruling and opposition political parties to work together to the nation.
እንግዲህ በአገራችን የፖለቲካ ሂደት ውስጥ የመጀመሪያ ሊባል በሚችል ሁኔታ
In our political landscape, the government has participated opposition political parties in the electoral process in passing this decision. This is a valuable decision. We have common country and we have to feel the pain. Thus, we received the government's decision proudly. We are also ready to work unwaveringly to move forward to ensure the advantage of the general public. In relation with the new post, I feel honored in the name of my party.
Former Minister of Innovation and Technology, Abraham Belai, who is also a member of the Prosperity Party, said politicians can't sustain the nation's interests without political ideology difference.
We may have different political ideology, but we don't differ in our views towards our country. We are ready to work together to realize development. It does not mean that difference in political ideologies is a detriment to development, peace and unity of the nation. We have many common agendas in this country. We are working government's job and mission, but not a party assignment. In any circumstance, political ideology difference is not a reason of obstacle to work and stand together, and this is a showcase.
Recently, all Ethiopians came together and closed the old chapter and opened the new chapter to ensure development and prosperity to the nation, but let aside.
ይሄ ማለት እንግዲህ አንድ አሮጌ ምዕራፍ ተሻግረናል ማለት ነው። አዲስ ምዕራፍ ውስጥ ገብተናል ማለት ነው።
We are entering a new chapter. To create this awareness, we have spent a historical journey. In our back history, all Ethiopians cannot contribute smart ideas together. Thus, this chapter brings backwardness to our nation. Recently, we understood the solution to move and stand together. Many political parties participated in the electoral process. The fact that some political parties did not win the election does not mean they lost their supporters. They have a voice. So the government has valued for these voices and made smart decisions. We are appreciating this good deed.
The minister pledged that he will work to promote Ethiopia's innovation and technology industry to the next level.
Ethiopian Diaspora in Belgium and Luxembourg issued a letter protesting the imbalanced resolution passed by the European Parliament, lauding the genuine concern and support of the EU in addressing the humanitarian crisis in affected regions. The community called on the Parliament to have an objective and impartial assessment of the conflict. The community also called on the Parliament to hold the TPLF accountable for attacking Ethiopia's Northern Command in a preemptive strike that sparked the conflict that we are witnessing today. The community asked the Parliament to give attention to the plight of people in the Afar and Amhara regions who are suffering from deliberate attacks against their lives and properties by the TPLF. They also urged the European Parliament to take note of the misdeeds of some aid agencies that tampered with data to influence policy decisions against the interests of the people and government of Ethiopia. In a related story, Ethiopian Diaspora community living in Germany call on the European Union to reconsider its recent resolution concerning the humanitarian situation in Tigray. They expressed disappointment over distorted facts enunciated within EU pertaining to the situation in Tigray. Sentayo Tamrat has more.
Ethiopia has been receiving undue pressure from the global community, and several Western states and actors have so far issued statements that lack a complete picture of the genesis of the situation in North Ethiopia. Ethiopia and its people at home and overseas have been reacting and trying to unearth the hidden facts behind the accusations by the global actors, particularly in the international politics. While the government attempts to unravel the ungrounded accusations, these actors have kept up coming up with new but intentionally and prudently crafted articulations of allegations. They also appear to rely highly on reports of popular media like the CNN, the New York Times, and the Guardian, which have been reporting biased and crafted stories on the Ethiopian situation. None have so far tried to approach the Ethiopian media and locals in the affected areas. This explains why the Ethiopians in different parts of the world are staging rallies protesting such ungrounded accusations by the global actors. Members of the Ethiopian Diaspora community in Germany asked the European Union in a letter to reconsider its contentious resolution titled The Humanitarian Situation in Tigray. They expressed disappointment on the many incorrect facts indicated in the draft resolution. Like the previous times, the recent EU resolution focused only on the situation in Tigray instead of addressing the whole picture of humanitarian situation in North Ethiopia, which at least need to include the sufferings of 1 million Ethiopians from Afar and Amhara regions. Hence, the title of the resolution, Humanitarian Situation in Tigray, has a divisive nature, for it singles out only one region of Ethiopia, Tigray, while deliberately ignoring atrocities and destruction being committed in Afar and Amhara regions of the country. The letter the diaspora community wrote to the European Union Parliament also pointed out that the Ethiopian government ceasefire from June 28, 2021 that was meant to help farmers in Tigray to continue their normal farming activities for the season and to alleviate the humanitarian situation there has been misused by the TPLF clique. It has used the time gap of Ethiopian troops leaving the area to attack neighboring regions like Afar and Amhara by destroying villages and infrastructure and killing innocent civilian lives as well as cattle. The TPLF clique has chosen to continue its destruction and mass recruitment, including underage children, to wage an attack on the neighboring regions. It has committed atrocities in Agmasa and Chena, Amhara region by killing hundreds of civilians. The TPLF junta has also massacred hundreds of innocent civilians in Afar region, but nothing is mentioned about this fact in the draft resolution. Despite all these crimes against humanity, the spirit of the draft resolution by the EU highly favors the TPLF clique. There are many facts that have been overlooked. It misses the main point that the conflict was started by the TPLF clique attacking the National Defense Force of Ethiopia on the 4th of November 2020 and other atrocities since then. The TPLF clique has also destroyed livelihoods and infrastructure in Afar and Amhara, including schools, religious places, and health facilities. No mention of the disappearance of over 400 UN trucks over the past 3 months in Tigray that were supposed to transport rounds of assistance for the needy. This is a fact well noted by the UN Ethiopia office. While a desert locust was a phenomenon in many parts of Ethiopia, the resolution singles out the problem to be related only to the Tigray region. It also deliberately missed mentioning the attack on Eritrean refugees in Tigray camps by the TPLF forces after the 28th of June 2021 unilateral ceasefire by the Ethiopian government. On the operative paragraphs, it omits the government's official acceptance of AU's role to solve the problem and the welcome extended to AU-designated special representative to the Horn of Africa. On the contrary, the TPLF clique has opposed AU's role. Finally, it misses an important development in the country, which is welcomed by millions of Ethiopians and is related to the democratic election held on the 21st of June and efforts being made to continue an all-inclusive national dialogue soon. The Ethiopian Diaspora community hence requested the European Parliament to reconsider and reverse the draft resolution in light of facts stated. It's remembered that Ethiopians and Ethiopian origins in the diaspora have been playing a significant diplomatic role in showing the reality on the ground in Ethiopia, particularly providing clear pictures of the situation in Tigray, TPLF atrocities in Afar and Amhara regions, the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, the new government, foreign intervention, and the like issues.
Sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ethiopia.
And finally, Kenya has launched a new conservation fundraiser offering people the chance to name an elephant for around $5,000. The country needs the money to continue its conservation initiatives, which are making a real difference in its fight against ivory poachers. Habtamu Ashagri has more from CGTN.
This is one of the most photographed landscapes in Kenya. Elephants and other wildlife roam freely, attracting thousands of tourists every year. Amboseli National Park is also at the heart of conservation workers that have seen poaching in Kenya nearly eliminated.
We have a very good relationship with Kenya Wildlife Service, so whenever there is an arrest, whether it's by the community rangers, they work very closely with the Kenya Police. They work with Kenya Wildlife Service to ensure that the poachers are really received whatever penalties they are supposed to.
Across Amboseli and into Sevel East National Park, they call this the elephant graveyard. Over 4,000 jails of elephants are kept here, but these elephants weren't killed by poachers. Their remains are also served as a reminder of what roads can do. This wildlife researcher says rivers are drying up, human settlements are taking over migratory corridors, and elephants are becoming increasingly isolated.
The main threat now is the issue of climate change. I think that's the main thing that I can talk about, because it's the one which is now shrinking the habitat. We might have the elephant numbers increasing, but if you don't have the proper habitat for them, that is the main challenge at the moment.
The poachers, bullet and poisoned arrow male, largely big things of the past, but these iconic creatures still find themselves in danger of extinction.
You're watching Addis News Hour. A quick reminder of the day's headlines. President Sahle-Work says Ethiopia deserves an industrious generation, highly cognizant of regional and global trends. And conservation initiative in Kenya offers chance to name elephants. That's all we had for now. I'm Tabitha Germany. Thanks for watching. Have a good night and take care.